the moment for me when I realized I needed to get some help was I had been struggling for about 3 months, and I knew I had to go get help. So I started getting therapy, and it was small periodic moments of help. But then the pressure, anxiety of my life would then increase. So then I started off early in the morning struggling, reached out to a friend for help. He met me for breakfast that day. We hung out, but I think I had stretched my time hanging out with him, and he was getting frustrated with me, so it left me alone, and I started to struggle. I was calling everyone, texting everyone, but no one was giving me the time of day because in my mind at the time, I felt that they thought I was lying, and nobody wanted to be a part of my life. And that went on the entire day, and it was a early January day in Florida, so it was cold, I hadn't eaten, I was shaking, and I got to the point where I was ready to take my life. And this wasn't my first suicide attempt, it was my second. And a lot of people ask, when you get to that moment, why do you feel like that's what you want to do? And it's because it's peace. At that moment in time, I'm thinking peace. I'm not thinking the negative effects of what that is. But I'm sitting in the car, I'm ready to do it, and a cop pulls over a car. And I don't know for what reason, but the cop pulled him over. And I thought back to my first suicide attempt and the negative feelings I had and the regret that I was having the moment I did it. And I said to myself, this is a sign. Something's not right. I'm struggling. I got to get the help. This is a reoccurring effect. So I got out of the car. I walked over to the police officer. I said I was hungry. I was struggling. I don't really know where I'm at. And I want to hurt myself. And at that point, he told the car it's your lucky day and told him to drive off. And I felt a relief because for the first time all day long, somebody was really willing to listen to me. So I will say I was very reluctant when I went into La Amistad my first day because you're giving up your freedom. You're giving up your everyday communications with your family, your friends. You're being put on a very tight schedule. You're sitting with other peers that you're somewhat trying to judge yourself and say, I'm not as worse as this person, or this person's not like me. But when you start to really put in the exercises, you really start to put in the effort and put back the appreciation that the individuals that are there are not there for themselves, but they really are there to help you. That's when I really started to take a step back and say, these exercises are working. The feelings I used to have of pressure and abandonment was just fear of abandonment. I was now able to take a step back and realize that it's okay to be alone. It's okay to be bored, and really work to be comfortable with it. So for me, that's what I took away from La Amistad, that they allowed me the opportunity to be comfortable with who I am and be a part of society. The moment I kind of stood out and realized that my story could help others is when I started seeing the younger generation coming in and feeling that internal frustration that if I just had someone to be there to tap me on the shoulder before the whole world went crazy for 2 decades and I did things that I regret, and just told me to take a step back, breathe, and realize that it's just a part of your journey in life and we all go through it. That to me is when I felt that it could be impactful. I think overall I can now take a step back and say everything I do moving forward is to leave a living legacy, whoever wants to speak to me in the future. Where the old me, it really was just very defensive, very angry, and just unsure of what the future held.